Hey guys, welcome to today's show. Talking about a topic near and dear to my heart because it is so prevalent today. And we're talking about identifying and eliminating distractions. Most guys I know don't fall short of their goals due to lack of effort, but due to lack of ability to properly identify and eliminate distractions. A failure to relentlessly and consistently fight off these distractions can create slowed, or I've seen even backwards progress, and it can cause more overwhelm, stress, and it's a major risk for falling short of your true potential. By learning how to properly identify and eliminate both big and small distractions, you'll open up new possibilities and seeing progress like never before and reaching your highest level of potential. Now, distractions are everywhere and they come in all shapes and sizes. And we've all run into big distractions that completely derail a day, a week, or even months at a time. Think of maybe an injury or a sickness, work changes, family situations, among so many other things that life throws your way. However, in my opinion, it's really the small distractions, not the big ones, that really rob us from reaching our true potential. These daily low-level distractions are where I see so many people falling short of their most meaningful goals and progress. Now, when was the last time you had so much to get done and you found yourself procrastinating to get started? You found yourself checking email because it's important to reply to that first, checking your text messages, on social media, cleaning the house, doing 100 other things that just have to get done. And I put that in quotes because these things, we feel like they have to get done. These distractions that come up, it's like, well, I can't possibly do what I set out to do until I cross off this, and this, these new things that came up that you didn't even know were going to be there. And sometimes these are things that need to get done, but a lot of times it's in our head of thinking that I have to do this before I can move forward with this. And I know how subtly these distractions can creep into our days and our lives. And I know how hard it is to identify and eliminate them. But the consequences of failing to do so are too great to not give this more energy and more thought. And I've seen this to be one of the biggest factors in how much meaningful work and progress that I can make personally. And there's a couple of books I've read recently that have been influential for me in this area. I highly recommend checking them out. First one was Deep Work by Cal Newport. And this was learning about how to find out how to do your best and most meaningful work in a world of so much distractions. And I love this one because it was very, very real, very applicable to kind of whatever stage of life, whatever work you're trying to achieve, but making sure you're achieving those meaningful things first and avoiding those distractions. Another one, Essentialism by Greg McKeown. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, but this is one I've read at least once a year for probably the past 5 years. And I just read it again recently. And he talks a lot about separating the trivial many from the vital few. So there's very few things that actually are really necessary and really drive our progress forward. And there's so many other things, though, that vie for our time. And would you rather make a centimeter of progress in a million different areas or make substantial progress in the areas that matter most? And I always learn a lot from this one every time I read it. It always brings me back to what's truly essential. Another great one, love this book, One Thing by Gary Keller. In a world where choices are infinite, this book talks about what's the one thing you need to do right now, this year, this month, this week, today, all the way to right now. Aside from listening to this podcast, which is a great thing, what else do you need to be doing to move you closer to where you want to be? And this is the exact, a lot of the approach taken, the goal setting we take our clients through. And I have that download readily available for you guys. It's in the show notes there. I've talked about it before. But this is essential to making sure you're focusing on the right things and making progress where it matters the most. So where have I seen this principle come into play? I've seen this personally in my workouts. I've seen it in other people's workouts. I've helped hundreds of people. I've done their exercise programming, helped them achieve their physical goals and achieve better, whether it's better looking bodies, more strength, more confidence, less pain. Focusing on one goal at a time will get you significantly more results than trying to do it all at once. And this is something I have to keep bringing myself back to because I want to try and do it all. It's something I have to keep bringing my clients back to because they want to get lean and bulk up and lose fat and have more energy and eat less and feel like there's just too many things going on. It's like you have to prioritize what your goal is, work towards that, get there, and then continue to tweak as needed. I see this in nutrition as well. Again, with people not trying to do it all, people not trying to combine bulking up and losing weight at the same time. Those two aren't compatible. Not without some kind of outside help in the form of, you know, supplements, steroids, those types of things. People are not naturally bulking up and losing weight at the same time. And it's also not combining things like fasting for mental performance, which I love, but also I fell into this because I wanted to combine fasting, yet also I wanted to combine fasting for the mental benefits that I see from it, and then also expect to perform at the highest level. There is some trade-offs, there's some picking and choosing, and focusing on what's most important at the time can help you eliminate all those other distractions that say you can have it all and keep you from really reaching the goal that's most important. I see this in relationships. Personally, we try and invest in so many things and so many people, and sometimes that can be at the expense of investing in the relationships or the things that matter most. Think what's close to home. If you're always out trying to be with friends and build friendships and relationships at the expense of your marriage or your relationship with a significant other, we fall into this all the time. Lindsay and I are trying to do too much a lot of times, and it can come at the strain of our marriage, and we have to step back and cut out things that are good things, good commitments. We had to do this recently, and it's challenging for us, but we've been really making a conscious effort to cut back on those commitments, because while I think COVID came and forced a lot of people to slow down, Lindsay and I were talking about, we really can't believe how subtle it's been that a busy schedule worked back into our lives, where we went from not seeing many people, not having as much social interaction, to now all of a sudden our calendar is quickly filling up. And if we don't protect against that, then the things that matter most might be neglected for that. And we might not get as time to focus on our marriage. We might not get as much time to focus on our work, on our calling, on different things. There's a lot that goes into that. And it's not to say that commitments are bad, but you need to be strategic with which ones you're taking on and make sure that they're in line with what you want to be doing, how you want to be spending your life. And with work, I've seen this a lot. I've seen being able to eliminate distractions huge for the amount of meaningful work that I can do. There's been an exponential increase in this. And back when I thought a few years ago now, 3-4 years ago, I thought starting a business was a lot of work. Getting off the ground was a lot of work. But I look back and realize how much more I'm getting done now compared to then. I have things like this podcast that getting out every week. We have the Men Made for More coaching program that started, and working with clients of helping them strengthen their body, their mind, and their purpose, helping them with their exercise programs, their nutrition, their stress, their sleep. Working one-on-one at a high level with some clients has been amazing. And this on top of other content that I'm able to put out, with getting videos out consistently, blogs, free downloads for good content, things that you guys can take and apply to your lives. We have our local business here in Carlsbad, California, Inside Out Strength and Performance, and seeing people for performance physical therapy, helping clients get out of pain and get back to living a strong, confident life. Having to step into a leadership role here and lead our team. We have, my wife who stepped on full time, our office manager who's here, trying to actively grow the business into something bigger than us, something that's, beyond just what I can offer. And all these things require a lot of time and energy to invest into this. Lindsay and I were heavily involved through our church and building up others. We try and serve and give back when we can. And this is all doing all this while I have a new firm boundary I've created of recently trying to be done with work by 2 p.m. I start pretty early, but that's a firm cutoff where I try and start my workout and be able to have a firm cutoff with all that. And there's no way I'd be able to do all this without forcefully, relentlessly, and consistently trying to eliminate distractions. And I don't want this to sound like boasting. I'm not trying to be prideful or talk about how much I'm able to do or get done, because I'm no more talented or productive than the next person. And I still have such a long way to go here. I get caught by distractions all the time. They creep in, they derail my days. They keep me off the main focus. And I still have so long to go on this journey, but I've learned to eliminate distractions. And that, if you're looking for a secret, if you will, that's the only thing that allows me to make the meaningful progress in the areas that matter the most. I'm no more special, no more productive. Don't know anything you guys don't, except for being aware of these things and being able to work over time to eliminate them. Last year, I've really seen this come into play, is just want to touch on too, is my mental state. When I'm more distracted, I'm more anxious, I'm more worried, I'm more overwhelmed. And all these things keep me from showing up as the man I feel made to be and the man that I need to be for those around me. And when I'm more anxious, worried, overwhelmed, stressed, I'm not as fun to be around, and I'm not able to give to others the same way. So this is something that if you've ever felt that your to-do list has 100 things and there's no way you're going to get them done and you have to do them all and you're rushed to do them all, you're on a timeline, think about how enjoyable you are to be around your spouse and your kids and these things, your coworkers. These are things that subtly creep in but can keep us from living to our highest potential. So all that being said, what can you do to better identify and eliminate these distractions that are holding you back? I want to give you guys a few actionable strategies here to help you get started. And this is a long journey. Give yourself some patience with it, give yourself some grace. But the first thing I want to say is you have to first identify what your most important thing is. If you don't know what that thing is, you don't know which ones are distractions, because there's a lot of probably good opportunities coming your way. And if you don't know what the most important thing is at that time or in that area that you're working on, then it's going to be hard to stay focused. I like to recommend people brain dump everything you want to get done. List all your goals out, list all your to-do list items. No matter how long the list is, pick the top 5. Or if you want to get really ambitious, pick the top 3. Pick the top one thing and do your most important thing first. That's the key here. Before anything, start in the morning, do your most important thing first. Get done what you need to do. How often do you say, this is something I really want to get done, or something I know I need to get done, yet you find errands and emails and text messages, social media, all those things take priority. And then all of a sudden, another day goes by and you haven't actually moved closer to what matters the most. So do your most important thing first. Don't put it off, and just get started on it. Another strategy, you're going to have to pass on good opportunities for great ones. There's a lot of good opportunities coming our way, but you need to, again, first identify what's most important and then know what those great opportunities are. If an opportunity or whether that's through work, something with friends, anything comes in and you're not excited about it, you're not like, yes, this is something I totally want to do, then it should be a no. And that's hard because good opportunities come and we have the fear of missing out. We don't want to pass on a good opportunity. What if this doesn't come back around? But saying yes to that good opportunity could set you up to have to say no to a great one down the road. Next thing, set a goal to push back. Checking your phone, text, email, social media, all those things. This one's very practical. If you're used to checking it right when you get out of bed, try waiting 30 minutes. Try waiting an hour. See if you can wait a few hours before waking up and get started on those things that the work that is meaningful and matters to you, the things that you know you need to get done. If you're always putting off workouts, get up and work out before checking your phone. Doesn't have to be anything long or crazy, but try and set a goal to push that time back from checking those things, because those things quickly move us onto other people's schedules versus being able to prioritize what matters to us. Another thing I recommend I've done this myself, I've done this with recommended other clients as well, is take an honest time audit of your day. So list out every half hour if you want, start from when you wake up to when you go to bed, and write down what you're doing every half hour. Write down how many times you're distracted. Write down if you're spending a half hour checking social media every couple hours, then that will allow you to identify what needs to get changed. And don't do it with any judgment towards yourself. Just take an honest time audit, list what you're doing, all the activities you're completing, and then start to look at where you can start to take some of your time back. Once you find out what those things are, it's going to be important to set firm boundaries. When will you check your phone? How many commitments will you take on a week? These are things that we have now fallen into, say, checking our phone, checking our email whenever we get bored, maybe whenever we see our phone. So having some boundaries of not keeping your phone by you, having some boundaries of saying, I'm going to work on this thing until 10 a.m. and then I'm going to go check my phone for 10 minutes. And it's okay to check your phone. It's okay to be on social media, but having the boundaries around those will greatly limit the distractions that come in, because when you're reactive to it, when you're reactive to your device, a notification pops up, you open up social media, and all of a sudden 45 minutes could have gone by and you're like, I don't know where the last hour went, time warp. So make sure you're having those boundaries. Learn how to say no. This is another big one to eliminating distractions. You're going to have to say no. to eliminate distractions, it requires you to say no. And I know this is hard. Saying yes is so much easier sometimes, but if you fail to say no and you say yes, you're essentially saying no to hundreds of other things and opportunities that might be more important. So I'm actually reading Atomic Habits right now by James Clear, which was highly recommended by so many people, and only a few chapters in, but it's been great so far. But he talks about how saying no is buying yourself future time credit. So when you say no, you open up more time in your future. By saying yes, you're committing to something that can't be changed. And if you want to be true to your word and true to those things, then you say yes, you filled up a time slot in your future that can't go towards something else. So if those great opportunities do come in, if there's other things that you decide are more important that day, the more commitments you take on, the more flexibility it allows you to be able to do those things. So last thing I want to leave you guys with in terms of actionable strategies, quit trying to do it all. I've fallen victim to this. I know so many people that fall victim to this, especially those high achievers out there trying to do it all. You can't do it all. So be okay saying no to things, be okay missing out on some things, be okay staying true to what matters the most. And to wrap it all up here, guys, it's hard to identify these distractions. It's hard to actually say no to them, but the cost for failing to do so is too high when it comes to reaching your God-given potential. And if you don't prioritize your schedule and what's most important for you, and not just what's most important to you, but for what's most important to those in your life, someone else is going to make that decision for you. And that could be social media, that could be friends, family, people that mean well, but there's a lot of things that are fighting for our time. So instead, imagine being free of distractions and all the weight they carry. Imagine moving through your days and your weeks with more productivity, contentment, and meaningful progress in the areas that matter most. And this is possible to work towards. It's never possible to achieve. It's ongoing. It's possible to work towards once you start working on eliminating the distractions that are holding you back. And if you need any help with getting clear on your goals, getting clear on your purpose, your why, taking action, avoiding some of these distractions, finding that one thing that we talked about earlier, I have a free download for you guys. It's in the show notes there. You can click the link right in there. It's a free PDF for the 5 steps you need to achieve your big goals. This takes you through the exact process that we use personally and we use with our clients. So I highly recommend you guys checking that out, because that is the first step to eliminating distractions. You have to know what you're working towards. Thanks for listening in today, guys. If you have any specific questions or content, things you want to see more of, things you found helpful, send me an email at dave@iostrengthperformance.com. That's also linked there in the show notes to keep the conversation going. We'd love to hear from you guys. Appreciate you. Have a good rest of the day. Have a good weekend for those that are listening to this on Friday when it's launched. And I will talk to you guys next week.